to breaking your phone addiction is not uninstalling social media, putting your phone in another room, or installing app blockers. I'm gonna show you 3 unhinged tips that I use to take my time back and 1 underrated perspective shift that'll transform how you think about productive habits. So number 3 is my shaming automation. So every time I open up Instagram or a social media app, it'll show me a notification and I can choose to click this button that'll take me to a Notion page that I made for myself. So this is a Notion page that I made complete with a whole mood board on things to do instead of your phone. And I did this because I felt like sometimes I don't want to be scrolling, but I also don't know what to replace the scrolling time with. So this is an easily accessible Notion page that'll allow me to know exactly what to do next. Because I feel like for my ADHD brain, it's so hard to get started on something just because I'm overwhelmed by so many options. And I also don't like a strict schedule. I like things flexible. So this allows me to pick between different things that I know will give me energy. However, if you choose not to click into this page, you get 1 more minute to doom scroll a little bit before it takes a picture of you and shames you by sending that picture to a person of your choice, like your crush or their family member. Now, number 2, this drastically reduced my phone time without me really having to do anything. Because I feel like if I uninstall social media apps, suddenly I'm out of the loop and I can't talk with my friends. So I don't want to do that. What I did instead was I started tracking my time 24/7, which might seem like a lot and a bit of an overcorrection or an overreaction, but this actually helps so much. And I have so many other students as part of my life tracking course who started tracking their time 24/7 and they literally said their phone screen time went down without them doing anything specific. When I track my time 24/7, this does not need to be super labor intensive. I literally just click a button automation on my phone and it changes my time tracking. But when I'm more conscious of my time like that, I used to spend hours doom scrolling on my phone before getting out of bed or doom scrolling on my phone before going to sleep. But ever since I started tracking my time, I'm like, oh, I have to change from the sleep timer to the phone scrolling timer. I start having second thoughts. I'm like, maybe this isn't such a good idea after all. Like, what is my intention here with going on my phone? So that forces me to pick something else. Like I'll change the timer to bathroom instead. And because I'm too lazy to keep changing the timer between bathroom and phone, I'm just like, okay, it's even lazier to just go to the bathroom. And that's kind of how the active tracking forced me and like tricked my brain into doing something that was better than just scrolling unintentionally on my phone. Number 1 is the curriculum that I made for myself with all these skills that I wanted to learn. At the beginning of this year, I decided I wanted to learn 1 new skill every month. So I would dedicate at least 20 to 30 days to learning a new skill. So at the end of the year, I'm supposed to have these 12 new skills that I've learned on topics that I always wanted to learn. So the way that I planned this, and I have many other YouTube video tutorials if you want to dive deeper into this, is first I always brain dump everything that I'm thinking and then I start organizing it by month, and I started dedicating a specific time of day to doing this. So like, let's say usually every night after I get all of my work done, after I shower, I spend my time doom scrolling. Instead, I very intentionally block out that time for working on this hobby and this curriculum that I have planned already. So what I found is the month that I set piano as my hobby or the skill that I wanted to learn, instead of doom scrolling every night, it became part of my nighttime routine to play and practice the piano. I also have a Notion template for this, so you can plan out all your intentions and then incorporate that into your routines. So just like note down the times that you tend to doom scroll a lot and then replace that time with this curriculum that you built for yourself. And the curriculum itself should feel very rewarding and fun so that you want to do it more than doom scrolling. But in the case that you do end up doom scrolling, you have that shaming automation and the time tracking to give you all of these different chances to kind of rethink your decision. And it's like a system that you built which sets you up for success. I linked all the templates and videos in the description below. These productivity systems are what you can learn to create for yourself as part of my life tracking course. Again, all the links are in the description below. But before I get into that, let me tell you about a perspective shift that many of my students said completely transformed the way they think about their time, including the time they spend on their phones. These tactics and strategies, including the ones that I just shared, might not actually be the most effective way for you to stay consistently off your phone. It's actually the mindset shifts that might help you stay consistent. And what I mean is that a lot of my students were doing the same things before and after the course, but their perspective completely changed so that the things that they were doing after, they were way more consistent with it. Even like 6 months after the course, I have students emailing me saying like, hey, I'm still being consistent with these systems that I implemented as part of your course. And with this perspective shift, you can expect to actually stay consistent with your habits and these goals that you have that you always give up on because you don't have enough time or you don't actually make time for them. An example of what I mean is, have you heard of the Zeigarnik effect? It's something I teach in the course, but basically it states that unfinished things are remembered more. You can be curious about that and be like, okay, I just learned this new concept in psychology. What happens if I try and apply that to this problem that I have in my life, like breaking my phone addiction? What happens if I leave a task unfinished intentionally, and the times that I feel like I want to scroll on my phone, I'll actually be thinking about that unfinished task and want to do that more. And you don't know if this is going to work unless you actually take action and be consistent for like a week of trying this out, treating your life like an experiment. When you're very curious about the result and you have this clear goal that you really want to work towards, it makes you way more consistent. You're suddenly focusing on the results of this experiment and this goal that you have, which is very rewarding, instead of the cost of taking action. So I hate doing admin work and working on spreadsheets, doing numbers, but when I focus on this beautiful pastel spreadsheets with amazing colors, amazing emojis, and suddenly I don't mind the work of crunching numbers in the spreadsheet. But if all you focus on is crunching numbers on the spreadsheet, you're never gonna stay consistent with actually working on the spreadsheet and getting your beautiful data dashboard. So it's about being curious about what that data dashboard looks like at the end, and also having a very clear vision for it as your goal. And the experiment part comes in because you have a very set timeline, and that's why the monthly skills learning thing worked for me, because my timeline was 1 month. I had that deadline for myself, and I only take action when there's a specific deadline, and I had absolute clarity on what skill I was gonna learn each month. Like, I planned out the curriculum by myself. So some other experiments you can try in your life are what the impact of body doubling is, what happens if you use voice notes and talking, because I love to yap, instead of typing things. Like if you're able to stay more consistent journaling by voice journaling instead of typing or writing, you know, things like that. There are all these experiments that you can try week by week, and then every single week you have something that you can look forward to, aka the results of that experiment and whether they have incrementally improved your life or not. And this mindset with these systems is exactly what I teach in my life tracking course. We go through it in a very structured way for 30 days. Each week has a specific theme. I actually just launched another cohort starting in September, so make sure to check the link in the description to enroll. There is a deadline to enroll as well as a deadline to submit your work for the course, because without deadlines, nothing gets done. But it's also flexible enough for you to work on the bite-sized videos and the hands-on projects in your own time. And as one of my previous students have said, this course teaches you skills that you can build upon for your entire life. A lot of the feedback that I get after the course is stuff like, this completely transformed my life, this changed my life, this was amazing, I became a different person, I felt happier. So if you even think about the things that you're committing to and how you're spending your time as experiments, it could be like, you believe by the end of this 30-day course, you will completely transform your life and be a more productive person who lives life intentionally and actually remembers their life and also feels more fulfilled. So if that's an experiment that you want to take on, you can invest in yourself using the link in the description below and a QR code as well. And I'm so confident that you are going to get value from this course. You're going to completely transform your life. That I offer a Costco style refund guarantee, where if you're not satisfied with your results after the course, even when you completely finished all the videos, copied all the templates, and submitted all your work, I will give you a refund if you request it. Just email me. All the details are on the website, so make sure to check the description, and I hope to see you in the course.